Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about something a little bit more serious as it pertains to like my thoughts and what I've been thinking, and I want to show up more honestly like with myself and with you all. The reason why I'm posting these videos is so that I can express myself better, I can get better at public speaking, but outside of like those, superficial things or, those things that are kind of like obvious, I also just want to find out who I am really. And I've posted a video before saying becoming more of myself, but I'm really starting to take a look back. I was talking with someone today, we were hanging out, and they were just like, you seem like you have a good sense of self, like you really know who you are. And I'm just like, yeah, I think I do, but it's like so much noise, there's always so much going on, things are always changing. And then they were like, well, who are you outside of who you are to other people? And I'm like, what did you mean by that? And they were like, outside of being a daughter, a sister, an employee, a worker, whatever, like who are you actually? And it's taken a while for that to actually sink in, like what they were saying. And now that I'm thinking on it, I'm just like, I know who I am, but I feel like there are larger parts of me that I'm scared to let go of because they are attached to other people, right? And what I mean by that is, in the past, I've had a business. I still do technically have a business, but I've had different things going on in my life. I was, a part of different groups and a part of different clubs and different classes and different things. And it's like now that I'm in my 30th year of life, there's no college club to be a part of. There's no high school friends that you see every day and hang out with. There's no obligation to talk to and be around family members and tell them what you have going on. And I'm starting to realize that I don't really have like a solid sense of self that's like updated to where I am now, like in my life now. And before, the things that I would find important and that I thought were valuable to me and that I wanted to really work on, it's just like those things are, it's kind of like old news, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like my sense of self is outdated. So now I'm just kind of looking at myself in the mirror like, whoa, like, who are we, bro? Like, and not to be like funny about it, but that's really how I feel sometimes. Like, I really feel like I'm getting up, I'm doing the same things over and over. I'm participating in behaviors and things that I'm really not wanting to participate in, but it's like, I feel like that's what I should do, or I don't want to let another person down. And I feel like I'm a pretty strong person too. Like, you really can't tell me what to do. You really can't tell me how to be, how to act, how to feel. But I feel like I do have some pain points and I do have some buttons that if you push them, maybe you would be able to convince me to do certain things or to go a certain way or to act a certain way or respond a certain way. And that's something that I've been working on with my emotions. And that's one of the reasons why I talk about emotional control so much. But even outside of that, about how my emotions can be triggered or affected by other people, it's more so like, I don't know, I'm just thinking about like myself now, like what they said when we were hanging out really made me think, because I'm just like, I know who I am as a daughter. I know the role that I'm supposed to play in this society, in this world, but as we can see, everything is like falling apart. And the things that we know, I made a video about that before too, like the world that we were prepared for and the world that we were taught to live in, it does not exist anymore. So it's kind of like your sense of self, it's like has been shifted, and it's like the floor from beneath me, it feels like it's just been completely taken from underneath me, and I'm the only thing that's holding me up are like the old habits and the old beliefs and thoughts that I've had, and those things are not really good for me right now. I'm grateful for who I was and I'm grateful for the person that I've been because it's gotten me to where I am now, but it's almost like I'm looking around and I'm starting to understand like, okay, I can't be that person anymore, nor do I want to be that person. Like, there are certain things that I cannot take with me and certain things that I don't want to do anymore and certain things that I don't want to trigger me and that I don't want to upset me, or even on the opposite end, things that I don't want to have my happiness depend on this thing or that thing or the other thing. And it's just, I haven't really had the time to think about it. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I have been in a doom scrolling like cave lately. Like any semblance or any feeling of discomfort, I'm immediately going to my phone. I'm distracting myself. I'm eating something. I'm watching TV. I'm just, waiting for the moment that I can go to sleep and start the next day. And that's really not living. And I'm starting to understand that. And it's starting to get to the point where it's like, okay, keep doing this if you want to, but you're not going to be happy. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm yapping a bit and rambling a bit, but wow, I just didn't expect to. It's like just when you think that you have things figured out, it's like a shift happens, and then you have to figure out something in a new way, in a different way, or it's like you think that you're okay with something, you think that you know what something is, and then all of a sudden it changes, and it's like different. It's strange, and I'm working on just going with the flow and not having to depend on like things not changing in order for me to be okay, because let's be real, life has changed. Like that's what life is. And I have to say this to myself over and over and over again, because I feel like sometimes I might be in a little bit of denial about it, and I don't want to sound like I'm complaining throughout this. I know some of my videos can really sound like that, but I don't know. I just feel very like I need to just figure out who I am and my sense of self, outside of like what I've been bombarded with through advertisements and through social media and through scrolling, and outside of what my family thinks and outside of what people I've done business with think. I've had people say things to me, just to be candid, right? I can be honest with you guys, but I've had people say things to me recently that just, it rubs me the wrong way, but not because they're wrong about it, but because it's just like, I don't want to be that person anymore. And an example of that, I've had a grant writing business. I started that business in 2023. It saved me many times. I literally would be on my last dollar, and then I would get a client who would pay me $2,000. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is just what I needed. And I would do the work, but I've lost my passion for it. And I feel like I'm doing it out of survival. And I feel like I'm struggling to do it because my heart isn't in it. Like I don't want to do it anymore. I have the information that can help people unlock millions in funding, but I literally cannot bring myself to do it. Even when people pay me thousands of dollars, I still feel like I don't want to do it, and I'm not money motivated. So I've had to come to terms with that, because I've had someone tell me, yeah, you were kind of half-assing it. You weren't really doing it. You weren't really serious about it. And I'm just like, as they're saying this, I'm like, you're right. Like in the back of my mind, I'm just like, I don't want to do this. Like, I really don't want to do this, and I don't want to feel pressured to do it, and I don't want to feel like I'm doing something just because that's what's expected of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a weird adjustment with that, because I've been on this like, I don't know, I've been on like a teeter-totter, just like, should I close it? Should I keep it open? Should I keep doing this? Should I keep doing that? And it's not even just with this business, but with many things. There are so many things in my life that I've been doing, that people know me for, that people come to me for. And it's just like, I don't want to do it anymore, guys. Like I'm not available. I'm not willing. I'm not able. I don't want to. Like I really just want to focus on myself. And as selfish as that sounds, it's like, I know that focusing on myself is going to be better for everybody else in the long run, because when you're okay, when you have a solid sense of who you are and what you need to do and where you're going, then you're better to help others, and you're more able to do things for others, like within your capacity. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when people say you can't pour from an empty cup. It's like, I feel like my cup has been a quarter of the way filled, and I've just been operating like that. And I'm so used to that it's just what it is. But now with everything that's going on, and with these conversations that I keep having and these themes that keep coming up, I'm just like, I think that I'm just operating as the Alexis who existed maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, and not as the Alexis in 2026, So that's something that I'm going to be unpacking. I've got my journals right here, like all of my journals that I have, and I'm going to sit and unpack that and like really decompress. And it's March 1st right now, so I'm going to just come up with a plan to like honestly disconnect from social media, because doom scrolling is not it. My screen time is like 8 hours a day. It's ridiculous. And I know a lot of it is spent listening to like podcasts and educational videos on YouTube, but I just need to tighten up with that and just figure out who I am. And when I tell y'all, I'm so scared, like, and this is what I said to the friend that I was talking to too, when they said like, oh, well, do you know who you really are? I was just like, honestly, I'm scared to let go, because I feel like if I let go, then the things that people love me for, or the qualities that I have that are good, I feel like they'll cease to exist if I just let go of who I was. I know that I'm operating as someone from, a few years ago, maybe not even in my full sense of self, but I was just like, I'm scared to let that go, because if I do, then who will I be? And they were just like, you need to let go. Like, change is not built in comfort. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be uncomfortable. And then they just said, if a caterpillar always wanted to be a caterpillar, they never would know that they would be a butterfly. And they said this a lot better, honestly. I'm like going off the top of my head. I don't remember the exact words, but I'm just like, that's so true. Like, even the change of a caterpillar, it's like, it's not all cute and like in the Disney movies where they just like come out with sparkles everywhere. It's like, it's a painful process. They have to break down and they have to remold and reshape themselves and then emerge anew. And when they emerge, they're able to fly. They're able to do so many different things that they weren't able to do, but they can't go back to that old form. And so maybe that's why I'm scared, because I'm like, wow, I really like Alexis as a caterpillar. Like, she's brought me here. She's dope. She's cool. I like her. So if I let that go, who would I be? Like, I don't know. You could say that I would be a butterfly, but you don't really know what that's going to look like. I don't really know what that's going to look like. So I think that's just something that I need to unpack and digest and actually face. And again, going off of social media and just being more intentional about that is going to be so much better, because I've been like, not to speak this out loud, I don't claim sickness or anything, but I have been feeling like really down and feeling kind of bad. And I think that's because I've just been avoiding thoughts, avoiding doing what I know it is that I need to do. So we just have to cut that out and trust that, like, okay, you taking the time to sit in your thoughts and be still and be by yourself is going to be better than having this aching feeling of not feeling like you're good enough and feeling like you're doing the same thing every day and that you're just destined to like live this dark, narrow life, you know? And I want to be honest with you guys, because I come on here talking a lot about like motivation and this and that, and these thoughts do come to my mind and I do believe in them, but I still struggle with it too. Like, I'm still human too. And I still procrastinate and I still do things that I shouldn't be doing out of fear, you know, of change. So that's just where I'm at right now. And this was a long one. Thank you if you've made it this far for listening. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. But yeah, I think I'm going to close it off now and just like go back to that. And I made a video yesterday saying like, I don't want to post every day. Maybe this is why too. Maybe I feel like I'm just showing up. I'm going to continue doing it for now until I really have a good reason as to why I shouldn't. But maybe I'm also just posting every day just as a way to like, I don't know, feed into something. I don't know. We're going to figure it out though. But yeah, thanks you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I know that this was a longer video and then I'm like all over the place, but hopefully it made sense and maybe it's like sparked something within you. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear what you think just about the video itself, or even if you're going through the same thing. I think a lot of people are kind of going through this too, but I would love to know. And yeah, I'll see you guys at the next video. Bye.